Microphone, Lynn.
I want to make sure that everybody, make sure your microphones are on and speak clearly and close to them. Should be a bright green light. And introduce yourself. And next planning board meeting is November 7th, same time, same place. And I'm going to appoint Nelson to sit in for Bob tonight.
Okay.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 members present.
Great.
We have a consent agenda here. We have a motion to,
I'll make a motion to accept it.
thank you. Second, Nelson, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's 500. All right, Article 3, Colt Refining Incorporated applicant and King Henry LLC and Evan Realty LLC owners. Review for acceptance and consideration of final approval for a site plan to construct a 97,600 square foot light industrial facility with associated site improvements. Parcels are located at 12A Star Drive and unnumbered parcels off Herrick Street and King Street in the I-1 Industrial and Aquifer Conservation Districts, tax map 3D-1, lots 2-1 and 20-1, and tax map 3D-2, lot 20-1, case planning board 2023-27. Little early, Grace. The applicant has requested a continuance to November 7th meeting to allow for the peer engineering view and ZBA process to complete. Do I have a motion?
Madam Chairman, I will make a motion to postpone this to November 7th. Was that the request?
Yes.
Yes.
And-
Okay. But I want to make a comment afterwards.
Okay, and a second? Jamie, thank you. All right, Nelson?
Okay. Did you want to call the question?
Well, you might affect the vote, so if you
Oh,
have a comment.
No, it won't affect the vote. I assure you.
What's your comment?
My comment was that with a plan like this, which is very complex, we have opportunities under the state law to have discussion meetings prior to the actual application and acceptance and approval and so on. And I would like to consider, I'd like the chair who sets the agenda to consider that as a part of our procedures, because I've just got a whole bunch of questions on that, and they won't get answered till November 7th, but just a
Robert,
suggestion.
you have any?
That would be really an applicant decision if they wanted to come forward for a design review meeting ahead of time, because we would have to notice it that way.
Well, if you've noticed already that you're postponing it, right?
Yeah, it's already been noticed for tonight's meeting, and the continuance effectively serves as the notice to November 7th. So it would have to be re-notified if the board voted not to continue. And
Can we have discussion prior and then continue it?
Yeah.
Just discussion amongst the board?
you could technically, because the hearing is open, but I would advise against it with the applicant not here, and there's no one to answer any questions about this particular item.
Okay.
Just a thought. Yeah.
Well, we
Okay.
asked. All right, all those in favor of continuing to November 7th?
Aye.
Signify by
Aye.
saying thank you. Any opposed or abstaining? We're 500 again. Number 4 on the agenda. EIP Corsicana 2 LLC applicant owner and EIP A York 2 LLC owner. Review for acceptance and consideration of final approval for a lot line adjustment and 2-lot subdivision. The parcels are located at 5759 Daniel Webster Highway in I-1 Industrial and Aquifer Conservation Districts. Tax map 2E, lot 6 and 6-1. Case number Planning Board 2023-26. And I would make the assumption that you are representing the applicant.
Yes. My name is Tom Hildreth. I'm with McLean Middleton, outside counsel for EIP, and with me at the table is Steve Glowacki. He's the civil engineer from RJ O'Connell. And behind me, to my left, are two representatives from the owner group, John Hennessy and Matt Chikalis. We're here for, as you said, fairly straightforward lot line adjustment and subdivision.
Thank you.
I assumed you were looking at on your screens at the same thing that I'm looking at
Yes.
on the screen above you. So a couple of years ago, we were here, Steve and I, on behalf of the previous owner, securing site plan approval for an addition to the existing building on the property to the southerly side. This is an old Nashua Corporation facility now, mixed multiple tenants in the building. And also a separate, roughly 100,000 square foot standalone building on the northerly side of the property. And that site plan was conditionally approved in July of 2021. And we've been chasing down the conditions of approval ever since. And we're just about to tie up the last loose end, which is DES approval of the sewer connection for the property. So in that intervening time, the 2+ years since we got conditional site plan approval, ownership changed. The new owners are these EIP affiliates, and they would like to subdivide the property largely for the purpose of facilitating financing of construction of the new standalone building. And so you can see what's done here is the new property line that Steve's showing with his cursor that would separate the space where the new building is going to go to the north from the existing facility building to be expanded to the south. And then there's EIP owns both that large 40+ acre parcel in the back, plus that smaller rectangular lot that fronts directly on Daniel Webster Highway that Steve's highlighting. And there's a little bit of that lot that is, the lot line is adjusted, and that little rectangle that Steve's highlighting now is joined and made part of the, we've called it incorrectly, 2E-6-2, but we're told that there's already -6-2, so we'll have to get a new number for that lot. But that's one of the only conditions of approval that staff recommended. We've read their report. We concur with Colleen's recommendations and would be happy to answer any questions. Hope you'll find our application complete and eligible for conditional approval tonight.
First item would be to find the application as substantially complete. I'll entertain a motion. Thank you, Jamie. Second? Nelson? All in favor of accepting as substantially complete, say aye.
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 500. And, I'm sorry, go back to my notes. There are no waivers. And so staff recommends that the board make a finding that the granted, with no waivers, proposed conditions of approval, the application meets all applicable regulatory requirements necessary and further to grant conditional approval.
So look at board questions first.
So, questions from the board?
Yes,
Nelson?
yeah. I'd like you to be clear on, I kind of misunderstood what was being subdivided out here. Could you, it looks like the lot to the north, or the northern part of that, is now part of the southern, no, not that one.
Currently part of. Currently, yes.
Currently,
That giant rectangle in the back with those two little legs that come down on each side, that one and that one, that's
Yeah.
all one lot today.
yes,
And that'll be two lots tomorrow, with the majority of the lot staying with the existing building to the south and the minority side going with the undeveloped space to the north. And then there's, the only other adjustment is there's a tiny piece from the other lot that this owner group owns, the 6-1, which is the rectangle that fronts directly on Daniel Webster Highway, just a small piece of that Steve's got his cursor on right now. That becomes part of the lot that's going to be left over to the north, the undeveloped lot for the
that was not clear to me. Where does the lot line run between the north lot and the south lot?
As I understand, if I may, Nelson, I think, with the exception of that rectangle at the bottom of the page,
Yep.
the large rectangle, it is all one lot.
Currently.
And what they're proposing doing is taking and including that one small rectangle beside the big one on
Down at the bottom.
the bottom,
Right, the little
the big
rectangle
one
right
and then
there,
that
there.
one.
Yeah, right.
and they're going to take that lot and bring it in with the one on the left.
That's right.
That's correct.
Where's the boundary between the lot on the left, as she called it, and the lot on the right?
It's that dashed line that Steve's running the cursor over right now.
Okay.
That's right.
And it runs right beside that big rectangular lot on the bottom.
That's right.
Okay. Okay, there are some features in the aerial photograph of these sites. There are some features that are shown. I can't tell what they are, but it shows some kind of features on the north lot. What will be the north lot?
So, as I understand,
Parking lot or something.
as I understand the existing condition over here, there is a lot. Oh, I see. So the large rectangle that you see diagonal across the northernmost lot is a paved parking area that I don't believe is currently in use, and if it is, it's used to essentially store tractor trailers. Behind that is a large cleared area, which is essentially a mowed field that was once a soccer field. Those are the features that are in the lot. Otherwise, the lot's unoccupied and unused.
Okay, that's not, I didn't understand why they didn't match. You know, the aerial photograph didn't seem to go with the
Subdivision
plan that was shown as the existing conditions.
Yeah, for the subdivision plan itself, although I think, if I may, I think the other plan, the third plan in the set does show this clearing over here, and it shows this paved parking area. It's just not on the oversized
Does it
hillside.
say paved parking area?
I honestly don't know if it does.
Yeah,
It does.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I have the full size set here, but
I didn't even see
my
that.
eyes aren't that good.
page.
Okay,
But that's what the existing
Right in the middle
condition
says
shows.
parking
got it.
lot.
Okay. All right, that answers one of my questions. There's a thing called out here, a BFE. There's a line that runs through the northern lot, and it's called BFE equal to 122.7. I didn't know what that was, what that line is supposed to represent. You know, it kind of wiggles around.
Which page are you on, Nelson?
I'm back on page 1.
Okay.
Oh,
It shows on page 3 as well, but
yeah, page 3. I think there's let me zoom in a little bit. Here we go.
it's over on the right-hand side there.
Mhm.
Top right, BFE equals 122.7 feet.
I'm gonna say the E stands for elevation.
BFE.
That's right.
BFE.
That's right. It's essentially a
Contour line?
yeah. It does represent a contour line. It represents, I believe, the flood elevation, base flood elevation.
Yeah. If I may, yes, BFE usually refers to base flood elevation.
That's right.
Okay, thank you. I didn't know that code. Okay, there are some lots that have part of an iron pin, have part of a boundary marker, and some of them use iron pins. And it seems to me we ought to put proper boundary markers on these new lots.
If I understand, as I recall, one of the conditions of approval would be for the applicant to have the surveyor set corners I believe that is,
Yeah, along the frontage, yes, that's correct. Staff has recommended that the iron pins that are out there be replaced with granite bounds along the frontage.
I missed that recommendation. but
Along the
yeah.
frontage only?
Yeah, the subdivision regulations require granite bounds or granite markers along the frontage with iron pins or other being acceptable elsewhere.
Well, some of them have, I prefer, of course, the granite markers, and especially in a place that's crowded like this, but. Okay, and then the one last question was on now it's the southern lot. There's another building that's separate from the big building. And, yeah, sort of, whoops, yeah, went by it.
whoops,
There it
The
is.
existing building?
Yeah,
Over to the left, I think.
oh, this right here.
yeah.
I'm sorry, yeah, I see that, yeah.
It just wasn't identified on here. Is it a building?
It is a building, yeah, it's one of the buildings for, I'm sorry, I'm going back to the plot, my apologies. Here it is,
It's on page 1 as well. But
yeah,
it's just not identified what it is. It's just shown as
Yeah.
a rectangle.
Yeah, it's just described as an existing building.
yeah, there it is, it's identified on sheet 3, on the blow-up sheet as an
Yeah.
existing building.
Okay, and that's going with the southern lot.
That's right.
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, those were my questions. Oh, thank you.
Any other questions from the board?
So with this subdivision, each of these two lots has only one access, or at least the southern lot has only one access to the road?
The way the access works, and I apologize, I'm jumping around, I'm getting used to this browser, but I'll jump to the overall sheet again if you don't mind. So the way this currently works is there's a one-way access that comes into the site in which vehicles will come down here on the southern side and come into the site, and they can circulate to either side of the site and even around the back through an access road. And then egress from the site is served by the northern access road. So essentially, southern in and northern out, and that's the way the circulation works in terms of the practical, circulation and physical access.
Are those roads or are they
They are in fact roads, yeah. There's-
town roads?
No, these are private roads, private driveways essentially.
Yeah.
It's a rather steep grade down here, so you have a one, as I mentioned, one-way grade coming down to the main areas and then one way coming back up to the street.
So it looks like the exit to DW is shared,
Yes, that's right.
and there'll be an easement.
There's an existing easement in place that dates back to 1995, and we're going to do an updated easement to reflect the fact that there's now two lots where there was one.
Okay.
Because you're now sharing between three people.
That's right.
Okay. And why are we adding that small piece to the new lot? Is that just to give them some access to the
That's right.
egress?
It's really to provide additional frontage for that spur, so that this lot has frontage along this edge. Excuse me.
Do we have a frontage requirement, or, because the other lot doesn't appear to have much frontage?
Yeah, the lot in the front has obviously a significant amount of
frontage, right.
frontage, but the one in the back, as it sits today, the only frontage it has is that little finger, which is occupied, I think, primarily by a drainage easement. So while I think in the industrial, and I don't have my book in front of me, going off from memory, I believe the industrial district doesn't necessarily require frontage. This does allow an improved situation by giving that lot some frontage.
So the incoming path is the only frontage that the southern lot has, and that's okay because it's industrial, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that paved? Is that driveway or a private road paved?
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Built to town standards? It should be. Yeah.
That's a good question. I mean, it's a private drive. It's been in existence for quite some time and utilized. I don't know specifically if it's built to town standards based on its age, but it's been serving the area for as long as this development's been in use.
You must meet fire department requirements for access to the buildings, right?
Yeah, they've
They've
provided
done peer
comments
review.
here, and their only comment so far is the numbering of the lot.
That's right.
Yeah, the southerly entrance there, it's certainly paved. Again, I don't know as well if it's constructed to town standard or not, but it's definitely paved. And the northerly access where there used to be a traffic signal to direct traffic back when the property was more heavily used, that is also paved.
Right.
Any further questions from the board? Seeing none, I'll open it up to public hearing. Anyone in the public wish to speak for or against? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. No, Grace is in back. She said, no, I'm all set, so. What's the will of the board?
I'll move to approve it as submitted. No, I've got to get the right words.
That's right.
Excuse me.
Page 2, page 3.
I make a motion to find that with the proposed conditions of approval, the applicant meets all applicable regulatory requirements necessary, and further, to grant conditional final approval to the application, subject to the recommended conditions of approval presented in the staff memo dated October 13th, 2023.
A second?
I'll make a second.
Thank you, Kevin. All in favor?
Aye.
500. Slam dunk. Where's my,
The plan was very hard to read, I gotta say
there's
that.
a lot of stuff on it, yeah.
There's a
I didn't
lot
even
of
see
very
page
busy-
3 when I was looking at it earlier, so I was,
Yeah,
I had those questions, but 3 and 2 were stuck together and I
Well,
didn't.
they also become harder to see the older we get,
Oh, now, come on,
right?
be
Don't
nice.
say- Don't say old in front of me.
Yeah, I didn't call you old. I called myself old. Nelson and I are old.
All right, item
Right.
5,
Can't
Planning
do
and Zoning Administrators Report. Anything, Robert?
I don't have anything to share specifically tonight.
Is this your first official meeting?
I guess it is my first official meeting since then. yes.
Congratulations, and we are thrilled to have you here officially.
Thank you.
He's been the planning and zoning administrator, right?
Yes.
This is his first meeting as community development director.
Yes, yes. We've got minutes here to approve. Somebody? I'm sorry,
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as printed.
and a second? Nelson, all in favor? Aye. 500.
No, I abstain.
Oh, you're abstaining. Okay, 501. 401. Who wants the last one?
Move to adjourn?
Second?
Gotta do something.
Thank you.
second, yeah, second, okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, guys. Mike's off.